Hey guys, welcome to Dylan's Still Hobbies, and today we are going to be reviewing My Hero Academia, Season 5, Episode 6, and we'll talk about Episode 5 a little bit because I really didn't do a review for Episode 5 last week. So, look, I can sit here just like every other YouTuber and tell you guys how amazing the plot of the episode was, how amazing the music and the sound cues were, and how amazing the animation is. Okay, I can sit here and do that just like every other YouTuber on planet Earth, right? Instead, I want to tell you just how incredible the storytelling is in this episode. You know what? My Hero Academia has the formula to create a character down pat. And I mean, it doesn't take you very long to get either connected to the character, to get to know the character, to find the character's motives, and whether or not you should like or dislike this character. Like, let me give you an example. Okay, so I compare everything to Naruto because Naruto was the first anime manga I've ever saw and read. So here's the facts. If I'm comparing this to Naruto, in Naruto, we meet Naruto. We get to know a little bit of the character. We know a little bit of his backstory, but we don't really get to know Naruto at all. In the first couple of episodes, and even in the first season, we get to see his growth and how his character interacts and changes other people's hearts, like he does in the first arc of Naruto with Inari, how he becomes friends with Sasuke and eventually changes Sasuke's hearts, and the way he reacts to pain, and through along the way we get to know him as a character, and we get to know his backstory, get to know who his parents are, get to know, every single little detail that was ever told, even long ago, gets to come back into play, even with Naruto. The difference is, between Naruto and My Hero Academia, is that Naruto, it stretches it way too long, to the point where when something does finally come back into play, it was like 300 chapters ago or something like that finally comes into play here, and you just completely forget about it, and then it gets you off track and you gotta go back and watch it again. With My Hero Academia, it's not that case at all. With My Hero Academia, they give you a character. They show you what this character is about and his ideology, okay? And then they don't go directly to it. They give you some time to reminisce about it, but they don't do it to the point where it's like 1,000,000 episodes long, okay? Or 100 chapters long or anything like that. It's like the very next episode you get to see how this character grows as a character. That's amazing. So, let me give you an example. Again, we got Deku here. When we first meet him, he's a crybaby. He really is. In fact, that's why a lot of people, and I don't disagree, ever since I first saw My Hero Academia, I absolutely fell in love with this character, not to mention All Might. But this is Midoriya. He's a crybaby when we first meet him, and I understand why a lot of people, when they first saw the first episode, if you just watch the first episode and not the second, you end up, by the end of the episode, not really liking Midoriya because of how much he is a crybaby. And then the second episode comes around, and you end up loving him. The third episode comes around, and then the fourth episode, and you just keep seeing character growth from him, and then seeing how he reacts and interacts with other characters. It's brilliant. Okay, let me give you another example. Kota. Kota, when we first saw Kota, we saw him in, like the first episode of the season, okay? In the second episode, of the season, we got to, well, actually, it was the second episode we met, but anyway, we got to know him. We knew some of his story. We knew his ideology. He didn't tell Deku, but he told us, the audience, of his ideology. And then they have it where you get to ponder it, yes, but they don't stretch it too long where it's 100 episodes later that you finally find this character having some character growth. No, it is in fact the very next episode and the episode after that where he finally shows his character growth. In episode 5, for example, Kota, just the little line that he has with Aizawa saying how he's sorry that he punched him in the nuts, and then actually wants to say thank you for saving him, and that little tear, it gets me every time. But we just had Kota for like 3 episodes long, and I instantly loved that guy. You know what I mean? It's just fantastic at how they have the formula down pat. And here's another example. Stain. We get to meet him. He's this big bad guy. We eventually get to know a little bit of his story, and we get to know his ideology. And while he's a bad guy, you end up loving the character. And every single bad guy so far, pretty much every single villain in this show right now, you get to not only know them, a little bit of their story, but more importantly, you get to know their ideology right off the bat. If I compared this to Naruto again, let's talk about Pain from Naruto. When we first meet Pain, we don't get to hear anything of his ideology for 1,000,000 episodes long, and of course when we finally do get to know it, he ends up becoming a beloved character. Same thing with Itachi. Pain and Itachi, 2 of the best characters from Naruto. Itachi's actually my favorite character from Naruto because of his story, but like they stretched it so long that I'm so used to anime stretching their stories so long to where when it finally comes back into play, it was 1,000,000 chapters ago, but not here, and it's just fantastic. Okay, so in episode 5, the entire thing with Mustard, the kid with the gas powers against Class B, I guess I really wasn't interested in Class B, so, I thought it was a fantastic episode. I absolutely loved it, but everything that they were showing between Class B and Mustard, and how Mustard is a kid, and how, he has the potential of being a great villain and everything, I just thought it was fantastic. It really is interesting. And the same thing with Musclehead, or Muscular, I call him Musclehead. Yeah, it's just too good of a show, guys. And then here's something that I really, really liked. So when we first met Tokiomi, well, not when we first met him, but when when Deku really started hanging out with them in season 2, we got that little line of how his powers work. Okay, now generally, if I compared him to something like let me compare him to Sasuke, for example. Okay, and I'm not saying that because of the character thing or anything like that. I'm saying that because of his powers. None of Sasuke's powers, we get to learn about the Sharingan and everything, but it takes chapters long, millions of, it took like 400 chapters long until his Sharingan finally came back into play, or 400 episodes or something like that, until his Sharingan finally came back into play and we knew how it worked. But here, we knew how it worked, and it comes into play just the next season, okay? It's just brilliant. They have it down pat. They're not stretching it so long that you forget about it, but they're not doing it right there to where you don't get to ponder about what's happening next. I just love the way they're doing My Hero Academia. Now, in this episode, another thing that I really want to talk about is Midoriya, okay? So, if you've seen the episode, of course, I'm skipping through a whole bunch right now because there's certain parts of it that I really want to talk about. Midoriya. You know, he's got this amazing power and everything, but I love the fact that while he does have the amazing power, it's not his amazing power that really is making him a great hero. It's his mind, you know, and that's usually not what happens to main characters in manga series or anime series. Usually the main character, again comparing it to Naruto had all the power from the start. Let's face it, he pretty much did. Of course you have to train to use it and everything, but he really didn't use his brain for a long time until, well, you could actually argue that he did use his brain against Zabuza, but that is the only battle that I can really see in the beginning where he does end up using his brain on how to fight. And again, I think it was more of he had Sasuke's help. Usually the main character has somebody's help when it comes to the smart stuff, and later on down the line, they end up becoming smart themselves, you know, and Naruto is a very smart fighter. He really is. Same thing again with Goku from Dragon Ball Z. He's not exactly the smartest guy on Earth, or the universe, let's say that, but he is a brilliant fighter, and he knows what he's doing, you know, but it took him time to get to that point, and that's what I love. But with Deku, he's got the brains and the muscle to back it up, and the fact is, he can't use his muscle right now because, of course, his arms and everything is pretty much broken. But at the same time, he's using his brain and he's able to think on the fly. He's like Shikamaru from Naruto. Again, comparing it to Naruto, I'm sorry. But he's just able to use his mind on the fly. And he does it twice in this episode. Twice! He does it in this episode, okay? So, the first time he uses it, of course, is he comes up with the idea of if he can get Dark Shadow and Tokiomi over to Bakugo, then Bakugo and Todoroki could make some fire, some light, and control all Dark Shadow and Tokiomi at the same time, saving Bakugo because of how, and I don't think he really thought about saving Bakugo with Dark Shadow. It just ended up that the plan pretty much went as planned. Even better than as planned, okay? And then when Bakugo gets captured by that one guy, the magician guy, I don't know his name. I never found out his name. I know they said in the episode, but I never found out his name. But when he gets captured, when both Bakugo and Todoroki get captured by that magic guy, then, of course, it's Deku to the rescue again. Deku, with his brains, figures out a way to use everybody's quirks. You know, he knows what he has, and he figures out a way to use it in the correct way, mind you, to save the day. He's just such an awesome character. Now, just real quick, I really, really want to talk about Toga. Okay? Toga? Creepsville. I don't think I've ever seen a character that creepy since I first saw Orochimaru. You know, Orochimaru, in the very beginning of the series of Naruto, Creepsville. He really was. Even later on, he became Creepsville, but definitely during the first time we met him in Naruto, he was Creepsville. Toga, Creepsville. and everything that she's saying, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just listen to what she says, okay? And you will somehow, they left you hints. I didn't catch it when I first read the manga either, but they left you hints onto what her power is and how creepy she is. She's Creepsville. She's Creepsville. Oh god, that gave me chills when she was sucking blood from a uraka. Oh my god, Creepsville. Now, the last thing that I really want to talk about is, I know this seems kind of stupid, but Ayami, I can never say his name right. He's a guy with a belly button quirk, okay? Him kind of showering in fear there, and then having a run-in with the big villain Dabi, and Dabi with the blue eye. I mean, I read the manga and everything, but I don't know why in that moment I forgot about the manga and was just in like the moment of the show, and it actually made me jump when Dabi, yeah, it looked like Dabi and him made eye contact for a second there. Oh my god, it made me jump. I thought Dabi was going to kill Ioma. For some reason, I don't know why. But remember, Ioma heard everything that Dabi said about the Nomu. Not only that, but Nomu was chasing that one girl with the creative quirk. I can't remember her name off my head, but she was able to create a tracker and had another guy with electric powers singe it on to the Nomu, and that's how they're going to lead into the next arc. By the way, just to tell you guys, I just ended up loving this episode too much. I loved it. I loved this episode way much than episode 5. I enjoyed episode 5, but this episode, hands down, storytelling perfection. Perfection. And all the questions that we have from this episode and from the last few episodes will eventually be answered. Storytelling perfection. The guy who writes this, I butcher his name all the time, Horikoshi. Story perfection. I loved it. I loved it. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe for more of My Hero Academia. Because this show is just getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. I'm out. And better and better.